Hello, Elaine here, and I am here for the week of September 16th to the 22nd, or if you just happen to stumble upon this video and want to check it out, and if anything resonates with you, go ahead and um, accept that. And so this week we do have a lunar eclipse. I did pull partial lunar eclipse. I did post a YouTube video on that, so if you want to check that out. But this I'm just trying to fill into this week. We will break it down to these cards are for the energy of this week, and then I will pull for cardinal signs, and then mutable signs, and fixed signs. So yeah, that is how we're going to break this video down. So with that being said, there is a lot of energy going on, and even with this partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, it will be energy for the upcoming months, and so we're just trying to tap into this energy for this week. Okay, so for this week we do have the communication card. So this is an activation card. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart center. Our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in flow of source and balance exchange. So this card is really interesting, and when I first pulled it, I thought, communicating with each other, family, friends, co-workers, etc., whoever we come across, but also about self-communication, that inner dialogue that we have with ourselves, even with our bodies, that communication that we also have within us, that just be gentle with yourself. And that this week, when I even in the full moon video, I just kept thinking, this is not a week to rush things. This is a week to be slow, be gentle, don't force anything. And I think the cards are kind of confirming that, because playfulness comes up, and this is also, the decisions that you're making, the choices, whatever you're changing in your life, enjoy it. Just feel, because there's also confidence there. So this kind of like puts an exclamation point on this, where it's like you're making all the right decisions. Look at how you're communicating with yourself or with others, and just feel into where you're going. And if you are being uniquely you and showing up for yourself, things are going to work out for you. It might be difficult because we have, this Five of Wands, which is usually some sort of challenge. I also am thinking of this card with the communication card. So it's like, who are you struggling with, or what are you internally struggling with? There's also little dolphins here. I don't know why I pointed that out, but maybe that will make sense to somebody. But always also bring in that playfulness, this joy. And the Four of Wands, it's interesting that they're both wands. Usually is passion, life force, and it's very action oriented. So this week, I just feel like just be gentle with yourself, and just take it at a day at a time, and things might rise up, but just always know that you have created foundations. This is a celebration card. It came up in the full moon as well. I honestly don't remember what I said about it, but I do know that I mentioned a wedding, and My nephew's getting married this week, so yay for them. I'm very excited to celebrate that, and definitely think we will have a lot of action for this week. But with that saying, you know, just because a lot of things are happening, take it slow, enjoy life. I think that's definitely a message that keeps coming through. Okay, so now we're going to go with, I actually need to move these up a little more. Cardinal Signs, and I will be mindful of cutting off cards. So Earth and Ground is the card, and I definitely feel with all the movement of this week is to definitely connect and to ground your energy. You know, hug a tree if you can, go outside if that's something you would like to do, sit with the earth and kind of just like release your energy into the earth and just feel the stability of the earth. There is the Five of Pentacles as well. So this is usually a little bit of a lack mindset. So I don't know if you're feeling depressed. You know, you have what you need. There is a key sitting here. And I think just a little bit of strength may be needed. Or like that gentle reminder. Or if you're just feeling like locking yourself in your room and just being quiet and do it. I don't know why that came into my mind. But I think there's also... because fives, they're kind of like a change card, a conflict card, and if you need that alone time, that's also popping up, and so maybe somebody needs to hear that. And there is a strength in taking care of yourself. And this is a Leo card, and then we have the Three of Swords, which is about grief. And I think also there's things, you know, it's also making me think of these two cards being sandwiched into each other, of maybe thinking you're not doing enough, but, you know, I think if you actually take that time and give yourself that space and time to center yourself, maybe you won't feel this so much, or maybe you do need to feel with what this card is representing, grief and letting go of things, and not feeling so heavy with it, because maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe there's going to be a lot of things this week that you just got to take your time with. And then we have the Ten of Cups, so very happy. It's interesting that these cards kind of go into, for lack of a better word, a shadow aspect. But that's kind of how we operate. You know, we have our ups and downs, and, you know, not everything is always perfect, and that is life. And if you're trying to display something that's always perfect, it's false. You know, we will all struggle at some point, and that's a unfortunate, I don't know, aspect of life, but it also gives you strength and growth. And you know, it's just kind of how it's life. Okay, sorry, dogs are barking. All right, so that's it for our cardinal signs. We'll move on to our mutable signs. So we have the take a step back, and we have the Knight of Swords. We have the Death and Rebirth card. We have the Hangman, which is Pisces energy. Death and Rebirth is Scorpio. And this is the first time I've ever seen, like, that looks like a fishtail. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So this is, you know, I definitely am thinking with these is like there's definitely going to have to be a pause. So maybe you'll need a clearer picture on what's going on this week before you rush ahead and take an action. So I definitely think that with this take a step back card, if there's anything you're considering or anything that you're unsure of, you know, take that pause. Hangman energy is, you know, waiting to take action. Let that brilliance come into your mind. Maybe get past this week and see if something you have more clarity. Fill into what you need to do. The Knight of Swords is definitely taking action, but since this is saying to take a step back, and then, you know, Death and Rebirth and the Hangman energy is making me think to pause before you actually take the action and fill it out and look at your other options. Is your decision the best decision? Are you confident in it? Is it aligned with you? Is it something that you communicated? And will it ultimately lead to what you want? And I definitely feel like a lot of reflection this week, and maybe even not trying to rush anything. Okay, so that is for our mutable signs. All right, so now we're going to do our fixed signs. Okay, so we got the no. And then we got the Page of Swords, the 10 of Wands, King of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. Okay. So with the no, I am feeling like, so one, I'm thinking like if you were thinking about jumping to do something, it's making me think take a step back, or like cool your jets a little bit and try to reflect on that. I definitely feel like you may also receive a no this week, but you know, look at it. Don't, sometimes we get blocks, and I don't even like the word block, but I'll just say delays. Sometimes there's delays and it's not the right timing, and so you just have to pivot or take that pause and step back and move slower through it, or even wait for a better idea to come along. Sometimes that's why we are delayed and or we get that block, because those ideas need to come to fruition, and they have to also be in alignment with us, and we have to be confident in them, and you know, we have to clearly communicate with what we need and what is actually needed. So I'm thinking along those lines of a no. And then there is the 10 of Wands, so there's maybe something that you have to say no to, as well. Something that you have to stop or no longer function with. This is, I don't feel negative or positive of this card. It is just what it is. It's a, like, it's a no, you know. And sometimes a no is a complete sentence. Well, it is a complete sentence. It's like no, and you don't need to have any more explanations after that. Um, and you know, after I said that, I kind of am thinking also with the King of Wands is knowing, you know, having confidence in yourself and being yourself will even help you say no if you need to, or like knowing that you have the strength to say no and that it is okay. No is a answer. Um, Not always an answer people want to hear, but it is an answer, especially if you're giving it to somebody and it is a no. Um, with the Four Cups, I definitely feel like, you know, this makes me think of these cards of waiting for that idea this to strike, waiting for whatever you need to come into fruition. Um, but it's also kind of, you know, sometimes you can't just sit there and wait for it. I am thinking of the playfulness card. Um, with this, it's like, you know, you've made a decision and now you might have a pivot. It might not. These things are, um, you know, they're empty. You've used them and you're waiting, but maybe you have to switch and think of different ways of getting it and not just be bored in the situation, um, but to bring in those new ideas. Be confident in your decisions. This, you know, I think I also am thinking of the no card, and it's like if you do get the no for something that you've been hoping to do or waiting to do, you know, it is. I definitely feel like it might be a pivot to bring something else in, and that goes with uh, those blocks or delays. You know, you're delayed for a reason, and it's okay. And I definitely say feel your feels, let it process, but don't get stuck in that energy, because you do have a lot going on for you. So yeah, that is basically it. And look at me, I actually did a short one. Last time I talked too much. So perfect. That is it. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. And I definitely think this is a take it easy week. And thank you.